Today, on Guess What I Found Out, we're going to discover some facts about seafood fraud. A scandal so widespread that ordering fish at a restaurant is basically playing Russian roulette, except instead of bullets, you're risking tilapia in your red snapper. Bold claim? Maybe. But by the end of this video, you'll see that almost 40% of the fish on your plate might not even be what the menu says it is. If you've ever overpaid for authentic seafood, only to find out it tasted suspiciously like cat food, smash that like button. Misery loves company. Seafood fraud isn't just a few shady sushi joints. It's a global problem. From restaurants selling cheap substitutes as premium catches to international crime syndicates smuggling illegal fish, this industry makes Ocean's 11 look like a high school bake sale. 1 in 5 fish caught globally is illegal, and billions of pounds of bycatch, like turtles and sharks, get killed every year. So yeah, catch of the day might actually mean catch of the decade-old freezer. Spoiler alert, it's not crab. It's surimi, a fish paste with crab flavouring and red food colouring. Totally legal if labelled correctly. Totally illegal if your Maryland crab cake is secretly made of imported swimming crabs from Asia. A 2015 study showed 40% of Maryland blue crab cakes weren't actually blue crab. Tuna, the sushi superstar. Except nearly 60% of tuna samples in United States restaurants are mislabeled. Sometimes white tuna is really a scola, a fish famous for causing, let's say, digestive fireworks. Fun times. Real scallops are pricey, so fraudsters cut coin-shaped pieces of cheap fish, inject them with salt water, and voila, fake scallops. If your scallop looks suspiciously like a chicken nugget, you've been had. Almost half the wild-caught salmon tested turned out to be farmed. Real wild salmon is deep red. Farmed is paler and fattier. Translation: you're paying champagne prices for boxed wine. So, get this. One study tested 120 samples of so-called red snapper. Only 7 were actually red snapper. The rest? Mostly tilapia. And, tilapia doesn't even have the same nutrients. It's a bit like ordering a Ferrari and getting, well, a used lawnmower. Now, about lobster. That lobster bisque you're enjoying, it could very well be pollock soup. Over a third of lobster dishes tested in US restaurants weren't lobster at all. Here's a handy rule of thumb. If it's shredded beyond recognition, it's probably fraud. And then there's caviar, the holy grail of seafood fraud. Real caviar is endangered sturgeon roe. Fake caviar? It can be paddlefish eggs or, believe it or not, waste products moulded into spheres. So next time you're, balling on a budget with caviar, maybe just admit you bought fancy fish jello. If you're feeling personally victimized by sushi restaurants right now, well, go ahead and subscribe. You deserve the truth, Curious George. Illegal, unreported and unregulated fishing, otherwise known as IUU fishing, actually accounts for about 1/5 of the world's fish catch. Most of it happens out there on the high seas, which frankly is where regulations go to die. In places like West Africa, up to 40% of fish are caught illegally. These operations don't just decimate fish stocks. They're also linked to forced labor, abuse, and some rather dangerous working conditions. So, yes, your $9.99 catch of the day special might come with a side of human rights violations. Overfishing, mislabeled seafood, ecological collapse, it all ties back to weak oversight, really. The United States inspects only about 1 or 2% of imported seafood, even though 4/5 of what we eat is imported. Meanwhile, organizations like Sea Shepherd literally chase illegal boats down with their own ships. Pirates versus pirates. Nature's Netflix, if you will. For consumers, the solutions are simple. Ish. Buy whole fish when you can. Check packaging for genus and species. Be a bit suspicious of wild-caught salmon that looks like it's been spray-tanned. And if your lobster pasta tastes suspiciously like frozen fish sticks, well, now you know. If you want to keep your sushi honest and your scallops actually scallopy, just hit follow for more truth bombs. Remember my opening claim? Nearly 40% of seafood is mislabeled? Well, we've seen it's true. Crab that isn't crab, tuna that isn't tuna, and lobster that isn't lobster. Seafood fraud is honestly one of the biggest food scams on earth, and now you know how to spot it. So, question for you. Curious George. Do you know other weird food scams, seafood or otherwise? Drop them in the comments and I'll highlight the most outrageous ones.